Ok, chat, j'espère que vous allez bien. Du coup, je vais vous mettre une petite vidéo parce que j'ai des trucs à faire. Contenu YouTube, une troisième YouTube. Oh, des nouveaux trucs. On va faire ça.
내가? 나 지갑을 두고 왔네.
보영이 올 때 어떻게 왔어?
나? 모바일 팀원이로.
그거면 돼.
뭐가 돼?
돼. 편의점이. 돼.
The WDL News is back to give you the latest on the Wolfie Draft League. If you're watching at home, be warned. While we typically like to keep it light, today's story is a dark one. 6 members of the New York Yankees have gone missing with no trace. When taken in for questioning, this is what Coach Shady had to say.
I'm innocent. You can't prove anything. I didn't do anything wrong.
Well, I for one believe him because that's clearly what an innocent man would say. Wait, hold up. We're currently getting more live updates on Shady. It seems there's evidence of him putting milk before the cereal. You sick bat. When Commissioner Wolfie was questioned about the missing players, he said,
"Thanks, Joel. As the commissioner of this league, I stand by Coach Shady, and we're going to do our darndest and best job to get replacement players for his beloved New York Yankees." Back to you, Joe.
Thank you, Commissioner. Well, it seems like Commissioner Wolfie has kept his word, because there are now 6 new players on the New York Yankees roster. I asked Coach Uzi for the rundown of the changes.
Thank you, Jamie.
Okay.
The Thunderclap Titans have been gracefully asked to discuss the complexities of the choices behind Mr. Shady Penguin's drops. And let me be the first to say that I stand with Mr. Shady. Because sure, you might not have the best choice of name in terms of being associated with certain dealers, but I'm sure you're not that type of individual, and that the Pokemon you dropped are perfectly fine and happy in a park. As far as your changes go, I'm very surprised to see him drop Ursaluna for King Gambit, first of all, because to be completely honest, Ursaluna really did fit well in his team, especially considering the Trick Room offense that he had, paired with, the tailwind support from some of the other offensive threats that he had. To be honest, King Gambit, while being one of the greatest Pokemon in VGC, due to its insane dark and steel typing with, Kowtow Cleave, its stat distribution and everything being so much of a potent threat, is something I'm not necessarily entirely too sure on at the moment, considering the fact that, he has it in DD to set up, Psychic Surges, in which case he's kind of self-goobing himself by blocking his own sucker punches and fake outs or whatever. But hey, he can just choose to not bring Psychic Surge in the first place, which would be certainly a very interesting choice if I do say so myself. Putting that aside, I do think that it is a great Pokemon from, in terms of the typings that it's able to provide, because it gives him the luxury of being able to decide between the ball, because to be associated with certain dealers, but you might not have the best choice of name of the choices behind Mr. Shady Penguin's drops. And let me be the first to say that I stand with Mr. Shady. Because sure, you might not have the best choice of name in terms of being associated with certain dealers, but I'm sure you're not that type of individual, and that the Pokemon you dropped are perfectly fine and happy in a park. As far as your changes go, I'm very surprised to see him drop Ursaluna for King Gambit, first of all, because to be completely honest,
What? Ursaluna? Il a enlevé un des meilleurs Pokémon.
Offense that he had, paired with, the tailwind support from some of the other offensive threats that he had. To be honest, King Gambit, while being one of the greatest Pokemon in VGC, due to its insane dark and steel typing with, Kowtow Cleave, its stat distribution and everything being so much of a potent threat, is something I'm not necessarily entirely too sure on at the moment, considering the fact that, he has an DD to set up, Psychic Surges, in which case he's kind of self-goobing himself by blocking his own sucker punches and fake outs or whatever. But hey, he can just choose to not bring Psychic Surge in the first place, which would be certainly a very interesting choice if I do say so myself. Putting that aside, I do think that it is a great Pokemon from, in terms of the typings that it's able to provide, because it gives him the luxury of being able to decide between, a Tailwind mode with, say, no Psychic Surge support, or a Psychic Surge mode, where he won't necessarily bring in the King Gambit, but even if he does, that's also fine, because indeed he can set up the Trick Room and his King Gambit can get a lot of big hits off, considering its lackluster speed. So it's certainly going to be something I'm going to need to be careful of. But for the other changes, he also dropped his Earthworm for Mudsdale, which is a very interesting choice as well, because while Earthworm is a great Pokemon for, blocking, for giving him a complete immunity,
Après, le cheval, il est fort.
that also, helps this thing being able to recover HP, Mudsdale is fundamentally one of the finer Pokemon in VGC, I would argue, and someone that's grossly underpriced in this league. So it's definitely a steal for him, and it's something that can easily get out of hand, considering the fact that it has stamina. And the last time I faced a stamina Pokemon, I didn't have the best luck. Okay.
Super bulky, so he's going for it. Let's see if he gets it. Doesn't get the crit, so we're gonna be able to knock out Gallade this turn, which is the one I was so scared about. We get rid of Gallade there. Let's go.
What is a great trait for him, however, is dropping his Fungus for his Thwackey. And let me just be the first to say that Thwackey is a genuine real Pokemon, okay? Like, don't underestimate it for the fact that it is yet to become a Gorilla Boomer. This thing still has Grassy Surge. This thing can still chuck a Yui. That's Australian for U-turn. Enable Shady to have a mixed terrain mode, which while does sound very awkward on paper, especially considering that he has a Mudsdale to, you know, goob himself with Earthquake, it still does give him lots of options in terms of what he chooses to bring against me, which definitely is going to make the prep for him much less straightforward. So I think it's definitely a solid prep, you know, change all around. But, you know, as for dropping his Drifloon for his Drifloon, that is, I'm not really sure about that. Like, I suppose he was trying to save a lot of points with some of the changes that he made throughout the season, and, well, Drifloon is 10 times less of a threat than Drifloon is. And lastly, he dropped his Armor Rouge for his Hector Salamanca. And let me just say that this, I feel, is fundamentally and objectively a very, very solid change, because Salamanca is a genuine solid threat in VGC. It can set up it can, you know, get a lot of big hits off with Scarf, you know, dual wing beat, outrage. It can be even special, and it can, you know, even leverage Intimidate if it doesn't end up wanting to be Moxie or whatever have you. And I think that from a threatening standpoint, I think this can easily become one of Shady's biggest threats as far as his team is concerned, because I genuinely am gonna have a hard time playing around this thing. Anyways, I think that pretty much covers up all these traits, so really, there's nothing left for me to say out there, and thank you for having me, and back to you, Joshua. Wait. You picked up Sneasler, and I dropped Gliscor. Gliscor was drafted in the first place because that's my honest-to-God counter to Sneasler, and nobody drafted this Pokemon, so who needs him anyways? Though it sure looks stupid if someone ended up picking it up afterwards.
Thank you, Coach. I feel like you handled that as best as anybody could. We had another coach make some pretty big changes to their roster. It seems it's not always sunny for the Immunity Idols. Let's take a look what Coach Mount had to say.
Thank you, Doctor. Here I am again, making more transactions. As you may be aware, my team wasn't really feeling it, especially after getting smoked by Uzi. I will admit, I did a poor job drafting. Trick Room, while very viable, even in draft, made my team a little too Trick Room heavy. And then my dream was to have like really strong Trick Room mode, complemented by like a Sun option on my team, and then also have some Tailwind options as well. The Sun component just never really came to fruition. Torkoal, it was just hard with the budget. And like Vileplume as like my main Sun abuser, besides Torkoal itself, it just is not enough. For me, it wasn't enough to justify keeping the Sun mode on the team at all. So got rid of Torkoal, got rid of Vileplume, got rid of Skiploom. So didn't even end up using those last two. They were just on the bench against Wolf, and then now they're gone. Sorry, guys. But so I ended up addressing a few needs of the team. I would say the main two things I needed were a reliable physical attacker and some speed. So I picked up Meowscarada, which I think is a pretty excellent mon, at least in singles, but it seems like it would be good in doubles too. I got Inteleon, which again addresses some of the speed, gives me like some pledge options, because I have 3 starters now. I got the Firewater Grass starter core with Blaziken in there. Not the reason I picked up Inteleon, but it's just kind of a fun option. And Snipe Shot is just a cool move in doubles, yeah, because it's immune to redirection. So I thought I'd give that guy a try, and then that left me with a couple points left over for Toxapex, which was basically like a niche counter pick to I'm pretty sure there's like a rain team that I've yet to face.
C'est quoi? C'est Munji,
which coach has that team, but honestly they're probably not gonna watch this. So anyway, back to you, Doctor.
Thank you, Coach. What an insane change for your team. We asked Coach James what he thought about this matter.
So Charles Indigo called me at midnight and woke me up from my sleep to ask me about my opinion on Mountai's draft. which includes dropping the Torkoal, Vileplume, and Skiploom for Inteleon, Meowscarada, and Toxapex. And I think Mount has had a bit of a rough time during this draft league and decided to pledge himself to make a difference and maybe do some honest gameplay. Because we all know that Sun and Sleep Powder aren't exactly fun and honest gameplay.
Wonder.
And going with the Toxapex, this could be a more toxic relationship that I've seen, like Joe picking up and dropping the Torkoal Sun team he's used in competitive VGC. But we'll see if this is going to be a good fit for him, because he does lose one of his best Trick Room sweepers with Torkoal next to his Oranguru, and of course does lose some speed with the weather control. So we'll see if it works out, but it might have some potential, especially with pledges. But back to you, Crimson Chin. Charles.
Thank you, Clef. Well, there you have it, folks. That's the end of the WDL draft changes. There will be no more this
Déjà?
season. How do you feel about everybody's team? Make sure you check out.
Ouais, il y a eu pas mal de changements en vrai, avec les deux vidéos qu'ils ont faites. Mais Sudoku, Sprigatito. Allez, Sprigatito.
혼자보단 함께 즐겁게.
바빠도 마음은 전해.
Sprigatito may be an adorable kitten, but as far as stats go, it is a terrible Pokemon. So I wondered, is it possible to beat all of Pokemon Violet using only this one little cat? And what if I made the game even harder by banning the use of any items in battle? Well, I tried, and it was painful. Here's how it went. To start, I call myself John. We leave the house and, oh my god, there's a cat in the bin! Who would do such a terrible thing? Anyway, now we had our Sprigatito. It may not breathe fire like Fuecoco or have the luscious locks of Quaxley, but by god, this little guy is adorable. I give our new cat a very fitting name, Garfield. Likes lasagna and copious amounts of catnip, hates Mondays. Very relatable. Would my Garfield become a powerful beast, or would we be crushed like a bug? Only time will tell. This challenge is going to be absurdly difficult, because besides being weak, Sprigatito is also a pure grass type. Defensively, grass is weak to 5 types, and offensively, we're weak against 7 types. And to make things worse, Pokemon Violet has boss fights for all of these weaknesses. Here, I'll teach you how to catch Pokemon. No thanks. I've got all I need right here. Naturally, we breezed through the first few battles with our Sprigatito. However, we were about to face a huge hurdle. But before that, we reach Misagosa, where I pick up a fresh new phone case and change my look to be a little bit more in sync with our weed cat. Soon after, we reach the school, and more importantly, the cafeteria. Yeah, I'm gonna need about 8 tubs of lasagna to feed my Garfield. Now we're finally free to explore. There's a lot of cool Pokemon here, but I can't catch any of them. So instead, I take my cat and we head for the first gym. This is where the problems begin, because this gym uses bug types, one of our many weaknesses. After my tiny grass trainer brain struggled to get this olive in the basket, we were clear to take on Katie. All I could really do was spam my strongest move, Bite. While 3 bites from my little kitten were enough to take out Nimble, I took huge damage from super effective struggle bugs in the process. This meant that Sprigatito was on the brink of death as Katie sent in her Tarantula. Although Sprigatito kinda clutched up here, as Bite got 2 lucky flinches, meaning we actually took Tarantula down. However, once Katie sent out her bug-type bear, we didn't stand a chance, and sadly, Garfield perished. It's only the first gym, and we'd already gotten crushed. Good start. We got really lucky with the flinches there and still lost. So how do we beat these bugs? Well, out of Sprigatito's moveset, it only has one that's good against bugs, Acrobatics. But the TM is all the way over here. So to the Garfield copter. After a trek that was way longer than it had any right to be, I finally found the TM. This move is insane. It has a base power of 55, but that doubles if you aren't holding an item. So, with my upgraded kitty, I once again stepped up to Katie. This time, it only took a single acrobatics to clean up both her Nimble and Tarantula. But Teddiursa is
c'est long.
because it actually survives an acrobatics before firing off a big super effective Fury Cutter and...
Mort.
Sprigatito just survives on 3 HP. This lets us land 1 more acrobatics for the KO. That was close, but Garfield clutched up, and now we had badge 1. That was brutal, but luckily, our next boss is Claw. It's a giant rocky crab, so Sprigatito can spam its grass moves for a very easy win. After the win, our cat tried to evolve, but don't even think about it. You'll be staying as an adorable little kitten for the entire challenge. Arvin and I collect a Herba Mystica, and this made me think, since Sprigatito is just a grass cat, would it be cannibalism if it ate one of these dank Herba Mystica? We give Maridon our sandwich, since Garfield and I are on a strict lasagna-only diet. Now Maridon can travel even faster, but couldn't you have done that like 5 minutes ago? Oh, what a cute little phone case, which I was only able to buy with the help of the sponsor of this video, Bai. Japan gets all the coolest stuff when it comes to Pokemon merch, and if, like me, you live in another part of the world, it can be impossible to get these exclusive items. Until now. With Bai, you can easily buy anything from Japan. Their interface helps you browse listings from a bunch of sites like Yahoo Japan, Mercari, and Amazon. Bai then buys the product on your behalf and will ship it internationally to you. There is so much cool stuff here that you probably won't be able to find anywhere else. Just take a look on Bai and see what cool stuff you can find. For example, I found these awesome Team Rocket figures, as well as this cool Ash Ketchum figure. And to sweeten the deal, Bai is giving my audience a discount of 2,000 yen off of your first purchase. That's equal to $15 or like 0.25 Pokemon Scarlets for free. To claim the discount, all you need to do is sign up using the link in the description. So claim your free discount right now and go and buy something cool with Bai. Soon after, we made it to Artisan Town, the location of our next gym. Oh god, they're trying to mug me! Help! I respect Brassius's game. He only uses grass Pokemon just like me. However, there's only room for one dominant grass trainer in Paldea, so I'm about to end this man's whole career. Just like Katie, Brassius's grass types are weak to flying, so a few acrobatics can instantly rip apart his
Acrobatics,
Pokemon. His Sudowoodo does survive a bit longer, however, the result is the exact same, giving us a clean win on our first attempt. After how that first gym went, it just feels nice to get some quick wins. After the battle, we meet Hassel the art teacher. Hey, why do you smell like Herba Mystica? No reason, kid. I'm gonna go get some food, man. Our next fight is way harder though, since we've got to take on this boulder-dropping bird, the second Titan, Bombardier. It's a big, powerful flying type, and I'm a grass type. Naturally, I got crushed immediately by a super effective pluck. But look, I was really underleveled for that fight, so surely I'll be fine if I just come back with a few extra levels. Oh. Never mind then. Yet another L. Clearly, we weren't ready to take on Bombardier just yet. But since Pokemon Violet is open world, I'll come back to deal with that problem later. Instead, I decided to attempt my very first Team Star Raid. Except, you can't attempt a raid unless you have at least 3 Pokemon in your party. Well,
oh là là,
there
c'est
you
long
go.
les
You can't beat
gars,
Pokemon
c'est
Violet
long
with
de
only
faire
a
le truc.
Sprigatito. Case closed. Except there is a way to get around this. The Team Star raids are split into 2 parts. The Star Barrage battles, and then the actual boss fight. I don't really care about the Star Barrage battles, but that's the part that we need 3 Pokemon for. So, my plan is to go and catch 3 random Pokemon and have them do the Barrage battles before subbing in Sprigatito for the true final boss. It's not a perfect solo run, but it's the best I can do. So, Garfield and I stepped up to face our first Team Star boss, Giacomo. I didn't know it at the time, but Giacomo is the devil. To prepare for his dark types, I taught Sprigatito the move U-turn. However, Giacomo leads with Pawniard, who isn't weak to bug. On top of that, it also knows Aerial Ace. As a result, I barely scratched it before Sprigatito is crushed within a few turns. This run was turning into a disaster. Not only did we get destroyed by that Titan, but we can't even beat Giacomo's first Pokemon. Garfield just never stood a chance. We needed more firepower, so after getting a few more levels on Sprigatito, I returned to Giacomo with a new strategy. This time, I have Sprigatito Terrastalize. This, combined with the Miracle Seed that I'm holding, means that my grass moves are insanely powerful. Even with Pawniard resisting grass, we still take it out in 2 turns. I was feeling much better about our chances until... Turns out that this Starmobile carries Intimidate, nerfing Sprigatito's attack. On top of that, this thing has a huge HP bar, so
Ouf, on
barely
a fini
doing
le
any
gars, on a
damage to
fini,
it.
on a
Within a few
fini,
turns, once
enfin.
again, we had failed miserably. By this point, I'd had enough. It was time to tap into all of my chakras and access the highest brain power possible to take out this stupid car. I spent the next hour traveling across the map, hunting down a variety of moves and items before returning to Giacomo with a new plan. I want to weaken this Pawniard with Charm, but it has the Defiant ability. This means it'll get a huge attack boost if I try to lower its stats. But I plan to get around that by first using Worry Seed, which changes the target's ability to Insomnia. That also happens to be my ability in real life too. Anyway, then we can begin using Charm, nerfing Pawniard's attack to -6, while my leftovers give me some small recovery. I can then start using Hone Claws.
Fallait que je fasse les devoirs, sinon il va me faire taper, wesh.
So much damage in the process, and once the
Du coup,
Starmobile comes in, I am
bon, pour l'instant c'est le début, hein. J'ai pas raté grand chose. C'est le début, il a battu les premiers badges et tout ça. Donc c'est tranquille, c'est tranquille.
Not only will this increase my attack, but it also gives me better defense to help survive Giacomo's physical attacks. With my upgraded stats, I then returned to try my strategy again, but was crit by Pawniard, and the result ended up the same. This is so tough. Obviously, I could just grind to level 100 and sweep. However, you know me, and I'm a sucker for pain. So I decided that I would find a way to overcome Giacomo without taking Garfield past level 30. And this was a terrible idea. I tried so many different strategies, but time after time, I kept getting crushed. Until, on turn 1, I used Hone Claws to boost my attack by 1 stage. We eat a big aerial ace. However, my boost means that once I terrestrialize, a high roll seed bomb can finish Pawniard in 1 shot. Crucially, the Starmobile uses Metal Sound, but misses. This gives me an opening, as I can land a huge seed bomb. After tanking a Wicked Talk on the next turn, I land another one. I know I can tank 1 more hit, and I just need 1 more seed bomb. This was my moment of triumph where... Are you kidding me? I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. Ladies and gentlemen, I was at DEFCON 1. I was down bad, and I'd already spent hours on this fight. I had to watch Sprigatito get crushed over and over again. But I still believed in our Garfield. With that,
allez, il peut le faire, il peut le faire. En vrai, tu peux gagner avec tout le monde. Mais le pire, c'est si tu t'empêches de monter trop de niveau. Si tu, genre, par exemple, si tu te stops au niveau de l'adversaire, c'est plus dur que si genre, tu peux monter jusqu'au niveau 40 000 et frustrer tout le monde, tu vois.
Now Giacomo was down to his demonic Revavroom. I'm hit with a Wicked Talk that leaves Garfield on only 19 HP. However, this is perfect. This activates my Overgrow ability, giving me a 50% boost to grass moves. On top of that, Grassy Terrain also boosts my grass moves by 50%. Combine this with Terrestrializing, as well as my boost of attack, and it means that my Seed Bomb, which usually has a power of 80, effectively now has a power of 540.
Ah ouais.
Sprigatito charged up the biggest seed bomb of its life and absolutely obliterated the Starmobile in just 1 shot. We finally got the win after an eternity. That was ridiculously challenging, but I think our Garfield has earned a reward. 1 like equals 1 head scratch for Sprigatito. Giacomo gives a little monologue about being bullied, and honestly, I don't care. You're no better since you just bullied me for the last 3 hours. I'm glad that Team Star Boss is done. Surely the next one won't be so bad for our grass cat.
C'est feu.
Oh dear God,
Ni dans
I'm
le...
not worried about that at all. Anyway, that's a problem for later. For now, I was on my Paldean revenge tour after being spat on by Giacomo. Our first stop is a rematch with the Flying Titan. This time, it's much simpler. I can nerf its attack into the ground with Charm, while Leftovers keeps me healthy. Once it's a -6, we can set up Grassy Terrain for the extra boost before slaying the Titan with 2 seed bombs. Sweet, sweet revenge, baby. We also learn that Arvin's dog is unwell, and I can relate to what he's going through. My Garfield is pretty unwell after being slapped around by Giacomo all day. Anyway, Sprigatito's reign of terror wasn't done just yet, because next, I decided to take on the Cascarapha Gym. And look, I like Kofu and his brow, but respectfully, I'm about to cook this man. He uses water types and opens with Veluza. It hits me with a pluck, which does huge damage. However, I respond with a Trailblaze. Since this move also raises my speed, now I'm faster, and after terrestrializing, 1 more Trailblaze can finish it off. Thanks to those speed boosts, I'm faster than the incoming Wug Trio, so a quick Seed Bomb takes care of that. Last is Crabominable, who does survive a hit, however, it misses a slam. That clears to land 1 more Seed Bomb,
après le type haut, ouais, il est facile.
a very smooth 3rd badge. And our momentum didn't slow down, as from here, I head straight over to Levincia to challenge Iono. We appear on her stream, and what could possibly get more views than a cute little cat? After sending her viral, we battle her electric types. This fight was really clean. After setting up Grassy Terrain, I was able to take out neutral with 2 Trailblazers, ensuring I outspeed all of Iono's Pokemon. We do even intimidate from Luxio, however, an onslaught of boosted seed bombs can then gradually wrap up the rest of her team. With that, our cat had collected its 4th badge.
Il s'est pas fait paralyser, c'est pas mal ça. C'est ça qui est chiant contre la reine électrique, c'est que tu peux être paralysé genre easy. Et du coup, ça peut être très long.
Orthworm is a steel type with a huge defense stat, so it'll resist our grass moves really well. But I believed in our cat, so we stepped up to face the goofy goober titan himself, Orthworm. To start, I used Charm 3 times to nerf Orthworm to -6, while Leftovers and Protect give me some HP recovery. But I'll need way more firepower against this goofy demon, so I switched to Hone Claws to boost my own attack. However, by the time I get to +3, my HP is getting really low. I have no choice but to Terrastalize and start firing off seed bombs. The first doesn't do enough, but on the next turn, Orthworm knocks me into overgrow range, powering up my next seed bomb to slay the giant worm. After taking it out in the second phase, no problem, Arvin and I celebrate with some dank Herba Mystica. Since Giacomo, things had been going really smoothly, except that was about to change, because we were about to face our toughest challenge yet, Mela. Remember how we struggled so much against the first team star boss? Well, Mela's fire types are even worse for us. Her Torkoal lead is Sprigatito's worst nightmare. It's a fire type that sets up the sun to boost its flame wheels even more. Even if you can stall out the sun and nerf Torkoal to -6 attack, it still has Clear Smog, a special poison move that also hits us for huge damage. And if all of that still isn't enough, Clear Smog also removes your stat boosts. So we can't even set up on Torkoal either. All of this means that Torkoal on its own is hard enough. However, keep in mind that Mela also has a huge fire-type Starmobile in the back. Honestly, I got slaughtered time after time without ever feeling like I got close. This left me in a tough spot. To beat Mela, I would probably need Sprigatito to be a really high level. But if I did that now, I would end up trivializing other parts of the game. So I decided to leave Mela for now and come back later on. For now, I tried to take on the next Titan, but was crushed immediately. I was down horrendously bad. I couldn't beat Team Star, and I couldn't beat the Titans. Our little Garfield was just too weak, and honestly, it started to feel like our little weed cat just didn't have it in him. But we pressed on, and I turned my attention towards the next gym in Medali. I want to take a ride on a Pokemon. Looks like you've already got your hands full at the moment there, brother. I'm gonna need an extra serving of lasagna. My Garfield isn't looking too good these days. After ordering the secret menu item, we're clear to immediately take on Larry, salaryman and victim of the system. But I've cooked up an evil strategy for his normal types. The only thing that can stop me is a critical hit. Okay, forget that attempt. Larry leads with Kamala, who knows 2 physical moves as well as Yawn. To counter this, I have Garfield immediately use Charm twice before I fall asleep thanks to Yawn. Sprigatito takes a nap for a few turns, but Kamala's body slams aren't doing too much now, and my leftovers give me some recovery. Once I finally wake up, one more Charm brings Kamala to -6 attack. Now I use a new move, Substitute. This helps me eat attacks while also making me temporarily immune to status moves like Yawn. I use this to my advantage, spending the next few turns spamming Hone Claws to max out my attack. Once at +6 with a fresh substitute, it's time for blood. I Terrastalize, and a single superpower seed bomb can crush Kamala, as well as the Dunsparce that follows soon after. This leaves only Staraptor, the biggest threat on Larry's team, since it also knows Aerial Ace. However, I've planned for this. My substitute not only nullifies the Intimidate, but it also eats the incoming Aerial Ace that would have otherwise killed me. This lets me safely fire off one more seed bomb, giving us the KO and a big-brained win over Larry. I was feeling pretty good about myself after that. So when Nimona asked to battle, I felt pretty confident until she flinched me 3 times in a row. She beat me before I even had the chance to attack. Just got outplayed, I guess. We don't actually have to win this battle, so whatever. However, this is a crucial checkpoint in the run, because now Gita gives us the TM for Terra Blast, and we now have the ability to change our Terra type by talking to this guy here. It does cost Terra Shards, but we can get those by farming 3-star raids or higher. This is huge for our challenge, as changing our Terra type gives us a ton of options, both offensively and defensively. For now though, we're hunting our next badge. Among the spooky snowscape of Montenevera, we find the next gym. This one uses ghost types, which is fine by me since it's a neutral matchup. However, it's actually an incredibly unfair matchup because this gym does double battles. But since I've only got Sprigatito, it means that I'll have to take on 2 Pokemon at the same time. My cat can barely handle 1v1s, so how would we manage in a 2v1? Although we do have a slight problem. The game forces me to use at least 2 Pokemon. My solution was to find a sacrificial lamb, or more specifically, a sacrificial pig. If I bring a Lechonk into battle, it'll just die instantly without having any real impact on the outcome. So just ignore that little piggy in my party. With that, I stepped up to Rhyme, ready to continue my dominance, but was crushed very quickly. Sprigatito's frail enough as it is, but taking attacks from 2 Pokemon at once is just way too much for Garfield to handle. If I wanted to take on 2 Pokemon at once, I needed a way to even the score. Then I had an idea. By using Mirror Herbs, we can teach our Sprigatito the move Petal Blizzard. Not only is this the strongest physical grass move we get, but Petal Blizzard also hits everyone else on the field. With my new move, as well as a Choice Scarf that we can buy from Misagoza, I stepped up to Rhyme for a rematch. Thanks to the Choice Scarf, I move first and immediately kill my own pig. Sorry buddy. Petal Blizzard breaks Mimikyu's disguise, while also hitting Banette for decent damage. Problem is, Sprigatito is then put on the brink of death after tanking hits from both of Rhyme's Pokemon. While I am faster, they both have priority moves, so on the next turn, a Shadow Sneak finishes me off. I tried the same strategy again, but the end result was the exact same. But then I had an even better idea. This time, on turn 1, I immediately Terrastalize, but use Protect, because in this battle, the crowd can award stat boosts. Since I Terrastalized, I get a +1 boost to every stat at the end of the turn. This means that I'm bulkier, hit harder, and no longer need the Choice Scarf, meaning I can have Garfield hold the Miracle Seed. Combining all of this, on the next turn, I can fire off a Petal Blizzard, which crushes Banette in one shot, while also breaking Mimikyu's disguise. This prevents me from taking an Icy Wind, and since I got a KO, the crowd gives me another stat boost to my offense. So, on the next turn, a huge Petal Blizzard can KO both of Rhyme's Pokemon instantly. This leaves only Toxtricity, but it doesn't stand a chance against my demonic, super-powered Garfield. With one more Petal Blizzard, we bust Rhyme's final Ghost, giving us our 6th badge. Honestly, I'm impressed that Sprigatito just soloed a 2v1 gym while barely being a higher level. You did good, Weedcat. That was a tough gym, but the next one is pretty straightforward. We have a neutral matchup to Tulip Psychic types, and her Farigiraf is completely free to set up on. It's a physical attacker, so we can charm it into the dirt, then boost our own attack with Hone Claws. Once we're at +6, I Terrastalize and crush that long-necked loser with Trailblaze. The speed boost from Trailblaze is key, as this means I now outspeed all of Tulip's Pokemon. So, we're clear to bring out the broom and sweep her whole team into the trash. Our powerful Garfield claims another victim. Although the next gym uses Ice types, and quite frankly, that horrifies me. So, I turned my attention back to the previous bosses that had destroyed me. First up is Iron Treads, and this futuristic Donphan immediately one-shot me last time. This time, I survived long enough to land 2 attacks, but still got crushed. However, it was really close, so I came up with a plan. This time, I Terrastalize immediately. I tank a knockoff before using Trailblaze to give me a speed boost. From here, I keep using Charm until Iron Treads knocks me into Overgrow range. With this extra firepower, at this range, one more Petal Blizzard can finish off the Cyborg Donphan. Once Arvin and I enjoy some fresh Herba Mystica, now our futuristic motorcycle Pokemon can grow wings and fly. That is a sentence I never thought I would say. Next up on the revenge tour is Mela and the Antichrist itself, Torkoal. I was decimated in our last attempt, but now I'm at a much higher level. On my first attempt, of course, Torkoal hit the 10% chance to burn me, so that attempt was over immediately. The next one was much smoother. By combining Protect, Leftovers, Charm, and Grassy Terrain, we can comfortably stall out the harsh sunlight before Terrastalizing and taking Torkoal out with 2 boosted Petal Blizzards. With this method, we still have decent health when taking on Revavroom. I was luckily able to survive just long enough to land a second Petal Blizzard and just fell short. Sprigatito fell, and we'd once again lost to Mela. But it was really close, so I returned for another attempt and made it through Torkoal the same as last time. However, against the Starmobile, it uses Screech twice, as I just push it to the brink of death. But Sprigatito's at -4 defense, and I'm so frail that a gust of wind could probably kill me. However, my cat clutches up, just surviving a Blazing Torque on 22 HP before one last Petal Blizzard finally destroys the Starmobile. deal. Revenge has never tasted so sweet. Hey Garfield, after handling all that fire, how are you holding up? Oh, he's fine. Fresh as a daisy. Tell me, what do you think of Team Star? Honestly, they have made my life hell. I can't wait to crush every single one of them, and if I ever find their leader, I'm gonna spit in their face. Oh, I'm gonna go now. I put down my controller for a while, and when I came back, I found this. A shiny Litleo just waiting for me. You know my character loves cats. However, there's only room for one feline on this wild ride, and that's Garfield. So I did the honorable thing and put that sparkly imposter cat in its place. F's in the chat for yet another shiny that I had to put down. Now we were headed for the next Team Star raid, and I'm hoping it'll finally be a type I'm strong against. Oh, come on! I tried taking him on, but on my first attempt, I got hit by Toxic, which is basically just an instant loss. If I wanted to overcome this Toxic trainer, I was gonna have to bring some toxicity of my own. So I formed a plan that was straight evil. His Skuntank lead knows 3 moves: Toxic, Sucker Punch, and Venoshock. If we get hit by Toxic, we pretty much lose instantly. So my plan is to use Substitute. While this is up, I can't be hit by status moves. The problem, however, is that Venoshock hits for huge damage and breaks my sub in one shot. To get around this, I need to stall out Venoshock's 10 PP. It takes one Venoshock to break my sub, and I can then use Protect to stall out another. All the while, my leftovers are giving me small recovery each turn to help keep setting up substitutes. With this Toxic combination, we can stall out Skuntank's Venoshocks, meaning it has nothing that can break my substitute. Now I'm clear to max my attack with Hone Claws. Then, I Terrastalize, and a single Petal Blizzard demolishes Skuntank, Muck, and the Revavroom that follows. Atticus was down to only his big Revavroom, but my substitute eats the incoming Noxious Torque before a Petal Blizzard just doesn't get the KO. Thankfully, we can tank one more on the next turn before a final Petal Blizzard crushes Atticus. A toxic strategy for a toxic, poisonous man. Next up, I sought out the final Titan, but this one was pretty straightforward. Dondozo is a water type, so we took care of its first 2 phases very quickly. The third phase against Tatsugiri was way more difficult since it knows Icy Wind. I lost a bunch of times, but eventually Garfield dodged an Icy Wind, which gave me an opening to slay the final Titan. Arvin and I enjoy one final pass of the Mystica, and Garfield's insane lasagna power has healed Mabistiff. What a certified good boy. The next day was Monday, so Garfield refused to work and we made no progress. However, on the next day, I took on Ortega of Team Star. I was expecting someone a little more beefed up. I don't know, Sprigatito's looking pretty buff these days. Ortega has a stacked roster of fairy types, and we don't have much of a level advantage. Despite that, with a little planning, we can make this fight completely free. Azumarill is a physical attacker, so we can nerf it with Charm. Annoyingly, it also knows Charm to nerf my cat. However, by including Taunt in our moveset, we can prevent any charming behavior. With Azumarill taunted, and at -6 attack, we can safely max our attack with Hone Claws. From there, some powerful Terra-boosted Trailblazers allow our powerful Sprigatito to rip through Ortega's first 3 Pokemon. His Starmobile does survive an attack, but Garfield just hangs on before one last Trailblaze cleans up the win. John, it's finally time for your last gym, but I'm 0% worried about you. I know you got this. Well, that makes one of us because I'm terrified of this gym. Grush's ice types are another weakness of my grass cat. What makes him even worse is that he leads with Frostmoth. This demon was designed in a lab specifically to counter Sprigatito. It's an ice and bug type, as well as being a special attacker with powerful stab moves. Regardless, I tried my luck against Grusha and was instantly destroyed by Blizzard. With the situation looking bleak, I tested a bunch of different strategies, but quickly realized something important. Grusha's Frostmoth could use any of its 3 moves on the first turn, and if by chance it opted to use Blizzard, I would have a 30% chance for the move to miss. This one free turn could open up the entire battle. Now I had a plan, I just needed to get lucky. On turn 1, I outspeed and set up a Hone Claws for the attack boost. On this attempt, Frostmoth finally misses a Blizzard. Then on the next turn, thanks to my attack boost, a super effective Acrobatics can get the KO, even with Sprigatito holding the Miracle Seed. From here, the combination of my +1 attack, Terrastalizing, and the Miracle Seed means that Sprigatito can unleash on the rest of Grush's team, sweeping them into the trash with an onslaught of Petal Blizzards. That's Grusher defeated, and somehow our one little cat had now defeated every Paldean gym while only being at level 61. But the celebration was short-lived because we had one more quest on the map, the final Team Star boss. Team Star has been, by far, the hardest part of this challenge, and now we have to take on the final Team Star boss, Eri and her powerful fighting types. Honestly, I got destroyed by Eri over and over again while helplessly trying to figure out a strategy, until I realized we only had one real option. By visiting this chef in Medali, we can change Sprigatito's Terra type to Psychic. That might not seem significant, but trust me, it changes everything. Now we were ready for Eri. Her Toxicroak lead is deadly since it knows Poison Jab, which can crush my Grass type. So, on turn 1, I Terra into a Psychic type while protecting to avoid any damage. Now that I'm a Psychic type, Toxicroak will spam super effective Sucker Punches. However, this fails if I don't use an attacking move. So, I spend the next 5 turns freely boosting my attack with Hone Claws. This drains all of Toxicroak's Sucker Punch PP, so now it's safe to attack. A Trailblaze doesn't kill, but it does give me a crucial speed boost. From here, our setup is complete, and Garfield had become an unstoppable demon. With a barrage of acrobatics, we quickly sweep through every single one of Eri's fighting types. The Starmobile falls in just one shot, finishing our final Team Star raid. I'm just glad I don't have to deal with any more giant cars. But the worst was yet to come. We were in the endgame now, and every fight would be against full teams of powerful Pokemon. The enemies were getting stronger, and our little Sprigatito is still the same weak cat that couldn't even beat the first gym. First up is our final
Oh merde,
with
je t'ai muté,
He
sorry.
leads with a Greedent, and this squirrely little
Qu'est-ce que je
tub of
disais?
lard is a nightmare.
Il a bien
It
pensé au
goes
fight
to
et tout ça.
Beastland, which has a
Il a bien
30%
réfléchi,
chance to
il a
paralyze
bien...
me. And boy, did it, because
Il a
time
bien...
after time, my runs were
s'est
ended
bien
by this monster.
informé
To try and
avant
avoid
chaque fight.
paralysis, I had to change my strategy. Now, I spend the first 3 turns using Charm, nerfing Greedent into the mud. The run dies if I'm paralyzed on those turns, but if not, now I set up Substitute as this blocks secondary effects. So, I can't be paralyzed anymore. Now I can Hone Claws to +4 attack, before finally slaying that chunky demon with a Petal Blizzard. Although, I was still being crushed by Arven's other Pokemon because my cat is just too slow. So, I went and bought a Jollymint from Montenevera, slapped it in Garfield's face, and now I've got a plus speed nature. Once again, I was back in Greedent's RNG hellhole, but once some luck finally went my way, we could execute the same setup. With a powerful combo of Petal Blizzard, Grass Terror, and Overgrow, we were able to sweep through Arven's team one after another. Arven, you're not looking too good there, buddy. That was our first fight of the endgame, and I really struggled. Little did I know, it was only going to get worse from here. Like Clive. This guy's been alive for 70 years, and I'm convinced he spent that entire time building a team to ruin my day. Let me tell you why he's a problem. He has a full team of diverse Pokemon, and I mean, look at how stacked this roster is. It's got priority moves, Aurora Veil, and even Effect Spore just to tilt me that much more. And we only have a 10 level advantage. But the biggest problem is Oranguru. This is Clive's lead, and it's so hard to set up on because it uses Foul Play. This move uses the opponent's attack stat, which means not only is it pointless to nerf Oranguru's attack, but also, by buffing my own attack, I'm also increasing the power of his Foul Play. This is an insane dilemma. I got destroyed by this ape. It just danced all over Sprigatito's grave while I tried to figure out any possible way of dealing with it. Very quickly, I realized I was gonna have to get extremely cheesy. First, I changed my Terra type to Dark, so I can survive Foul Play better, since now I'll resist it. Then,
En vrai, changer les Terra types, c'est un bon truc. Je l'avais pas fait moi dans mon truc.
This time, I immediately Terrastalize and just spam Mud Slap until Oranguru is at -6 accuracy. Now it struggles to land any attacks, so it's kinda safe to set up a substitute and begin boosting my attack. Once I'm at +6, it's time to unleash my demonic kitten with a barrage of bites. This lets me gradually sweep through the rest of Clive's team. Before long, he was down to only his Skeledirge. It does tank a hit, however, I still have my substitute up, so I know I'll survive one shot and... Wait, what? Today I learned that Torch Song hits through Substitute. After losing several more attempts to my awful luck, as well as one where Clive just didn't spawn into the map, we finally had some luck. My new strategy uses Acrobatics instead of Bite, and this extra power makes all the difference as this time we sweep through Clive's team much smoother. My character looks exactly how I felt after being slapped around by Clive for hours. We then confront the Team Star Super Boss, the Big Boss, Cassiopeia. They were both me all along. I told you I was gonna do it. Team Star has been a nightmare in this run, but their boss is straight trash. Her Umbreon is free real estate to set up on, so we can max our attack before sweeping through her assorted flavors of dog one after another. Pathetic. I think I've finally gotten over my fear of Team Star. Oh god, it's Mela. Run! This brings us to the Elite Four, one of the toughest challenges for my cat to overcome. We have to take on all four members back to back, and to make things worse, 3 of them specialize in types that resist grass. And to make things even worse, we can't change our Terra type between battles. This was going to be rough. Regardless, armed with only a cute kitten and a dream, I stepped up to the Elite Four. First up is Rika, but she's actually really free. Her ground types all get swept up by Petal Blizzard, no problem. But that's where the good times end, because next I have to take on the Devil, Poppy. This child of Satan uses Steel types, which is awful for me. Steel resists literally every move that Sprigatito can learn. Her Pokemon also have huge physical bulk, and I'm a physical attacker. To make things worse, her Copperaja knows Heavy Slam. Yeah, I wonder who's heavier, a giant elephant made of copper, or a kitten the size of my shoe that's made out of flowers. I was annihilated by Poppy, and I knew I needed a different approach. So, on this attempt, I changed my Terra type to Electric, got a few extra levels, before returning to the Pokemon League. After slapping Rika around with some flower power, we were once again confronted by Poppy. My plan was to once again whip out the cheese. I spammed Charm to nerf Copperage's attack, before then using Mud Slap to lower its accuracy. But this strategy needs a lot of luck, and I just kept on failing over and over. After way longer than I'd like to admit, I finally had the luck go my way. With Copperaja at -6 attack and accuracy, I can then boost my own attack to +6 with Hone Claws. From here, Sprigatito terastallizes and gets an adorable little light bulb hat. Now we use a new move, Terra Blast. This basically changes to the type of your Terra and can be a physical or special attack depending on which of your stats is higher.
Parce qu'il y a le vol après.
Supercharged cat, an onslaught of electric Terra Blasts were enough to finally wipe through Poppy's steel types one after another. This felt so satisfying. Don't you dare give me that face. I know you're pure evil. Not only is Larry the most relatable Elite Four member, but in this run, he's also the most concerning. His flying types not only resist grass, but they're also super effective against grass. And this is the main reason why I chose an electric Terra type. Because after just 2 Hone Claws, Sprigatito can Terra Blast its way through Larry's whole team with an onslaught of electricity, basically turning our worst Elite Four member into the easiest. However, there's a downside to that. Oh hey, who smells like Herba Mystica.
Lui, comment il va faire?
I just finished staring at my hands,
comment il va faire le dragon?
wondering how they got there. We needed an electric Terra type to deal with Poppy and Larry, but last is Hassel, and his powerful dragons resist both our natural type and our Terra type. I tried so many strategies, and let me tell you, I got destroyed, slapped, teabagged, and downright embarrassed by this old man. His powerful dragons have huge coverage, and we had a cat with a light bulb hat. Yep, seems fair to me. Anyway, while Garfield was getting crushed over and over, I slowly tweaked my approach. Hassel's lead is a Noivern who knows Air Slash. This is super effective against Sprigatito, but this works in my favor, because this baits Noivern into Air Slash as I Terra into an electric type, basically turning it from a weakness into a resistance. This lets me safely land a Trailblaze. The small damage isn't important, but the speed boost is. Then, by cycling Protect and Hone Claws, I can survive just long enough to get +2 attack and accuracy. This is vital. Not only do I need the attack boost, but since Play Rough has a 10% chance to miss, the accuracy boost is also important. From here, I can outspeed Hassel's whole team with a deadly barrage of Play Roughs from my kitten. With that, Garfield had crushed the Paldean Elite Four all on its own. But the champion still remained, and Gita is an
lui, il peut pas se placer. Ça qui est chiant, c'est que contre elle, tu peux pas te placer.
This was tough. At this point, I learned that after making it to the champion once, we don't have to go back through the Elite Four to rematch Gita. This is so important, as it means that we can change our Terra type. So, after turning Sprigatito into a steel cat, I returned to Gita with a new plan. And while I did make some progress, I spent hours getting crushed over and over again. But after returning with our cat beefed up a few levels higher, this time things went much smoother. Now, Espathra is a problem. Its Lumina Crash move harshly lowers my special defense, and its competitive ability means that if I boost my stats, it also gets a boost. These two factors make it really hard to set up on.
Ça c'est chiant opportuniste.
I have Sprigatito hold the Clear Amulet, which prevents Lumina Crash's stat drops. I immediately terrestrialized
C'est hyper
as
chiant.
Steel lets me
Parce
resist
que
all
normalement,
of Sparta's
quand
attacks
t'as les petits
before
Pokémon comme ça, t'es
spamming
obligé de
one
te
slap to lower its
boost,
accuracy. Once
boost.
that's done, I can
Et
boost my
après, tu
own
peux faire quelque
stats.
chose.
However, if I use Hone Claws, a Sparta will also get the accuracy boost, undoing the hard work of all those mud slaps. But I have a plan. By using Worry Seed, we replace a Sparta's ability with Insomnia. This means I can safely boost my stats with Hone Claws without sharing with the oversized Psychic Chicken. From here, our metallic Garfield is unleashed, crushing Gita's Pokemon with a string of steely Terra Blasts. With that, one little cat had somehow become the Paldean champion. We still had two big boss fights left though. First up is Nimona, who calls us her true rival, someone who can stand up to her full capabilities. Really? You went and picked a rival who only has one cat? Fortunately, the fight against Nimona is actually really simple. By using a Jolly Mint, we outspeed her Lycanroc and can charm it to -6 attack. Then we're clear to set up with Hone Claws before running a train on her team one after another. It was an absolute slaughter. Nimona laughs hysterically, and I can only assume that she lost her sanity after getting swept by a single house cat. Garfield had become a menace, an all-powerful demon. No one could stop us. Or could they? There was one final boss, the biggest challenge
Allez,
in Pokemon Violet.
le professeur, tu le
in search
pètes
of
le professeur.
glory, Garfield and I headed into the Paldean crater. Oh, it's you again. The crater has some weird stuff going on. Like, whoa, what's happening over there? Anyway, after making it to the bottom of the crater, we slap Arvin's Mabastiff straight back to the infirmary with a Petal Blizzard. After that, we come face to face with AI Turo. In the present day, no Pokemon exists that could possibly face up to my powerful Sprigatito. So, Turo had to go into the future just to try and find something that could stop us. Turo leads with the hardest of hard counters to Sprigatito.
Oh my god.
Dear God. Iron Moth.
Il est acier.
Poison and
Ah,
fire
poison
type.
feu.
Basically,
Poison feu.
our worst nightmare. I was crushed in just a
Poison
single
feu, c'est
shot.
vrai que
I tried
c'est un
again
peu chiant.
and again, but the result
Le
was
type
the
est pas mal,
exact
quoi.
same. This was our toughest challenge yet. On top of Iron Moth, Turo has a stacked roster of Pokemon, basically
Oh, damn.
pseudo legends, and we had our kitty cat. I needed a plan to overcome this demon. After activating all of my big brain energies, I returned to the bottom of the crater with my level 95 cat. On turn 1, I immediately Hone Claws for the boost in attack and accuracy. Iron Moth hits a huge sludge wave, and I live on only 1 HP thanks to
Un
the
HP.
Focus Sash. We were on the brink of death, while Turo still had 6 powerful health.
Mais attends, il peut faire Endeavor
I only
et...
had 1 HP, but we were still kicking. The attack boost and the fact that I'm not holding an item anymore means that 1 Acrobatics can crush Iron Moth. The incoming Iron Jugulus falls to a Play Rough, followed by Iron Bite, who is
Damn.
decimated by a Petal Blizzard. The big
C'est
Mecha
chaud, ça.
Godzilla is next, but it suffers the same fate at the hands of my Flower Power. However, Iron Hands is a problem. It's too bulky to take down in one shot, and it knows Fake Out, a priority move that will absolutely kill Sprigatito. This is a really tough spot and would normally be a run
La
killer,
Protect, non?
but
N'a pas.
I have a plan. By terrestrializing into a Ghost type, not only does Fake Out fail, but it also gives us the opening that we need to land 2 Play Roughs without Sprigatito taking any damage. Last is Iron Valiant, but it takes only 1 Acrobatics to slay the Gallade Voir. With that win over Turo, 1 single Sprigatito had conquered all of Pokemon
Bien joué à lui.
without using any
Il a,
items in
en fait, il a
battle and
bien
without even going to level
réfléchi.
100.
En fait, il a changé beaucoup de terra, de type de terra et tout ça. Oh, ça, il faut regarder. Les Atetokounmpo.
Today, the Bucks signed Alex Antetokounmpo, meaning he'll be on the same team as his brothers, Giannis and Thanasis. But there's a problem. Giannis is the only Antetokounmpo good enough to get playing time, which is why I'll be spinning an upgrade wheel to help out Alex and Thanasis. The ultimate goal, to turn the Antetokounmpos into a championship
Ah, c'est un ailier fort,
winning.
Thanasis?
Here's our upgrade wheel.
Sûr? Tana 6 Antetokounmpo. Sûr que c'est un ailier fort? « 1m96 ailier, il est fort. Ouais, parce que là c'était marqué il est fort pivot. À 1m96, c'est compliqué. C'est à la taille d'un meneur. Et le Alex. Damn. Yanis. Est-ce que si on tape Yanis... Damn! J'allais de travers ou quoi? Oh, j'ai le hockey plus le tous. Attends, Alex, on est obligé de quitter. Ah, lui, il est jeune. 2 m 3. Ok. Damn. Ailier. Ok.
I'll be spinning it 4 times
Oh,
before the
punaise.
start of every season. Twice for Alex and twice for Thanasis. I felt like they both needed 2 spins because they're such low overalls. Thanasis is a 69 and Alex is like a 72. There's some great stuff on this wheel. You could get +6 overall, add 7 legend tier badges. The best spot on the board is probably that +15 overall. If we could get that, it'd turn Alex or Thanasis into a great player instantly. We're going to start off by spinning for Thanasis. Good luck, TA. For most of your career, you've been a cheerleader for the Bucks. It's time to change that with a
+8. Ça, c'est pas mal.
Off the jump. Oh, that's big.
It's
He's going to go from
77.
69 to a 77. Quick math there.
Ouais,
So there's going to be an opportunity for even more Thanasis upgrades. What will his next spin
Oh, j'ai le
be?
hockey, ça me saoule.
+7 overall, or are we adding Hulk badges?
79.
+7 overall. If you add 8 and 7, you get 15. If you multiply that by 2, you get 30. We're just about 30,000 subscribers away from 300K. So if you click the button, I'd really appreciate it. Come on, that was clever. You gotta hand it to me. And we double uploaded today. Just click the button, man. Or don't. It's up to you. I know it's annoying when YouTubers beg for subscribers. All right, it's upgrade time. He's going from a 69 to an 84. That'll already make him the second best player on this sorry Milwaukee team. By the way, if you're wondering why we're using the old Bucks logo, I had to revert to their old branding because their current court, when you jump in the game, there's like a glitch where there's flashing lights and stuff. So I had to go back to their old branding and that fixed it. All right, anyway, let's upgrade Alex. He's starting off a little bit better than Thanasis at a 72, so maybe he can be better than TA after the upgrades. We've got +10 to all defensive.
Bro, c'est pas possible d'avoir le hockey comme ça mérite.
Defense wins championships, and that's our ultimate goal, winning a ring. Oh, we're really making Alex a lockdown defender, as he'll be getting every defensive badge.
Ça, c'est pas mal en vrai. Ça va être un lock.
Alex will be after all that. How many defensive badges are there? Oh, there's a lot that he'll be getting. Lockdown Thanasis on the way here, and then we'll also do the +10 to the.
C'est Alex, c'est pas Thanasis.
He's going to be our defensive specialist, and you always need a guy like that who can lock down the other team's best player. Giannis is capable of it, but I think having Alex do it is better, so that way Giannis can save a little more energy for defense, or sorry, for offense, and just be like a help defender on defense. Alex only went up to a 74 with all those badges? You kidding? Well, we still got the defensive upgrades. This isn't going to be as big for him. We're just going to see like his rebound, interior D, perimeter D, block, and steal go up. That perimeter defense still kind of sucks. But Alex is now a 76 overall. Oh, nah. We can't have Thanasis and Alex off the bench. I knew Alex was probably going to be off the bench, but TA, if I play you at small forward, his overall goes up. He's an 86. Yeah, he can start. Hold on, I'm curious. If I moved Alex, this might not work, but what if I move him to the 2? His overall goes down, but will they give him minutes? No, they won't even give him minutes. All right, we'll keep Alex at small forward. The upgrade wheel wasn't nearly as kind to him as it was to his...
Sinon, faut mettre Yanis en pivot, mais c'est chiant. Non, ça.
I don't know that we can. Let me not sleep. Let me not sleep on my guys. We're doing great. Well, we did way better than I expect the Bucks to do this year.
52.
Finishing out as the 2 seed with 53 wins. Jokic is your MVP, averaging 28 points, 13 rebounds, and 9 assists, nearly a triple-double. Giannis makes second team. He averaged 23, 10, and 7. I feel like 2K never has Giannis average Giannis numbers. Like, he's been getting 30 and 12 for years now. Why does he not get that in the simulation? Giannis does make all defensive first as well. How is Thanasis doing? He put up 21 and 8 with 2 assists. Wait, did he not win most improved? What? He went from averaging 21 high fives and claps a game to 21 a night. Maybe it's because his other stats aren't on here. I don't know why. Yeah, 2K might And then Alex, he averaged 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. Nothing crazy.
Pas ouf.
Played his role.
Pas ouf pour Alex, mais Thanasis, c'est le monstre.
It isn't right. Gary Trent, take a seat. Take a seat. You can't be that much better than Alex. You didn't even know how to catch the ball when it got thrown to you that one game. All those goggles on, you still couldn't see the ball coming your way. My bad, Gary. I don't have any ill will towards you. I'm sorry. I'm going to play Alex officially as a shooting guard, and he's going to start there, okay? Round one for Miami Heat. We just had to have all the Antetokounmpo starting as we win in 5. Easy work. Next up, it'll be the Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young leading the way. How did the Antetokounmpos do in round 1? We saw Giannis lead the way with 25. TA had 17. Alex was, oh gosh, Alex is kind of awful, but he's here for moral support. Game 1, we win. Cole Anthony at 24. Wow. Game 2, we also win. Okay, the Hawks will take game 3 and 4. We got ourselves a series going into game 5. I'd love to see the Antetokounmpos in action here, but the guys just took care of business.
Okay, c'est bon ça.
To jump in. 30 and 11 from Giannis, 19 from Thanasis. Alex even had 14. Okay, starting to turn up. Game 6 on the way. Chance to close out the Hawks. I'd love if this was close. That way we get a chance to see the Antetokounmpo brothers in action. It's going back and forth here in the second. Hawks get some separation in the third, but we fight back later. Oh yeah, this is going to be a game right here. 4-point ball game, 2:57. Don't mind if I do. Hopefully all the Antetokounmpos are in. I see Giannis. I see Alex. Don't see Thanasis. Don't tell me TA fouled out. He did not. Oh, let's sub him in. He's having himself a night too. 24 points just like his brother Giannis, and Alex has a dozen. We're going to have to use the last timeout, but it's well worth it because we get Kyle Kuzma out of the game and Thanasis in. Who would have thought that was a sentence I'd be saying today? I was pretty surprised when the news dropped that the Bucks were signing Alex, but I guess it shouldn't be that surprising because Milwaukee's doing everything they can to keep Giannis happy. Miles Turner is inbounding the ball. Turner will give it into Cole Anthony. Anthony going to swing it to Giannis. Giannis goes for a contested 3. What in the world, Giannis?
Qu'est-ce qu'il a branlé?
Down 3 here or there, but that's not the shot, especially early in the shot clock. I don't like that. Ice Trae with the
Ils auraient dû mettre Alex là. C'est un lock.
Giannis flies in to rebound the miss, and now Antetokounmpo's pushing the ball in transition. He gives it to Cole Anthony. Anthony finds Thanasis. Thanasis doesn't want the top of the key 3. Giannis jabs. Antetokounmpo going to Jalen Johnson, loses the ball, and Yeka Okongwu.
4 points.
Here's Trae Young behind the back move. That can lead to a turnover a lot here in 2K, but not this time. Trae misses the 3. I feel like Cole's giving him too much room, though. Alex brings it up slowly. Yeah, he's not too quick with the ball, is he? There's a screen from Giannis. Alex, oh man, the bag. He's not bagging right now. He swings it to Anthony. Anthony gets the screen from Cole. 3 ball is off. And this Bucks offense has gone cold.
Le screen n'a pas marché,
Here's Reese Shea. He'll throw it to Dyson Daniels in the corner. Daniels to Jalen Johnson. Over to Ice Trae Young. Young backing in on Anthony. Kicks it to Okongwu. One more to Reese Shea. 7 on the shot clock. Rizzy to Jalen Johnson, who has room for but he misses. These two teams just going brick in the clutch. Cole Anthony looking to open up the scoring here since we've hopped in. He'll throw it down to Thanasis. Antetokounmpo backing in on double O.
Oh mais non, Thanasis. Mais ils ont pas marqué un point là, ça fait 40 minutes.
Rizzy to Trae Young. Young has Alex Antetokounmpo defending. He's got
ça c'est bon.
Put him to use. Good defense. It'll go to
Alex le lock.
Dyson Daniels probably gonna have to heave a tough shot up. Nope.
Ça rentre.
Anthony, and he knew it was Christmas. Cole a little bit too small there, and Dyson Daniels will finish it home to put the Hawks within 2. 3/4 of a minute to go. Thanasis gets the screen from Turner. Turner rolls to the rim. TA completely misses him on the roll. Thanasis driving here, bumping, lost his dribble, finds
Anthony. Il a raté encore, non.
Grab the rebound. Here's Dyson Daniels with the ball. Daniels can tie it with the 2 or take the lead with the 3. Gets to the rim.
C'est bon,
Can't hit
Yanis.
a Kongwu second chance.
Yanis, il
Back
l'a
to
pas.
Daniels. The Nazis, or sorry, Alex
Non, non.
pressuring him.
Non,
It'll
pas
go
triangle,
to
pas
Trey.
triangle, pas
Trey
triangle.
shot fake.
Laisse-moi la balle à
Off the
triangle.
shot clock. It goes to Jalen Johnson.
Oh,
Johnson turns the corner.
114, 114.
We're all tied up. 11.4 to go.
11
No
secondes.
timeouts left here. Your
Allez,
Bucks
allez,
are
ils
just
arrivent pas à
gonna have to
marquer.
go for it. Either we win it here or it's overtime. Cole Anthony with it. He'll throw it to Antetokounmpo.
Non, c'est Thanasis. Thanasis
le
la shoot. Non, Thanasis le la shoot qui rate.
Couldn't do it. We got extra basketball on
Ça,
the
c'est
way
chaud.
as your Bucks went ice cold, colder than ice tray in those final minutes there. Didn't score a single bucket. The Hawks were looking bad, but they caught momentum at the right time. We're not going to watch this whole extra period, but I'll jump back in if it remains close. All right, we'll get back in here. 1:52 to go. We're sitting on a 5-point lead, so just don't blow it this time. We even got the basketball. I just need y'all to play decent. Miles Turner into Cole Anthony. Anthony with Trae Young defending. Cole hits Alex. It'll go back to Anthony. We need to get Giannis involved in this offense.
Shoot pas, shoot pas, shoot pas. Shoot pas, commence à le crosser. Commence à le crosser. Montre-lui, montre-lui, montre-lui. T'es passé, t'es passé, t'es passé. What?
Misses the layup. That was a good look too. It goes to Jalen Johnson. Now to
Maman, il
Trae
rate jamais ça.
Ice Trae Young. Defended well by Thanasis.
Nah, Thanasis.
Oh my gosh, TA.
Let's go, Thanasis. Ah, dommage, dommage, dommage.
Goes back up and makes it a one possession game with the lay. Hawks within 3. Minute 15 to go.
무대에서 가장 큰 요소가 관객이잖아요. 여러분들의 마음을 스티안스
Cole Anthony with the rock. He'll throw it to Thanasis onto the Kumpo. TA does not
Okay.
have a pass button.
Let's go, Thanasis.
Score here. Big bucket from Thanasis. And your Milwaukee Bucks now up by 5. That was a strong move to the basket. Trae Young with it. He'll swing it over to Dyson Daniels. Daniels
Oui, Alex, c'est Alex.
onto the Kumpo. Gives it back to Young. Young to the rim.
Ah, faute.
Foul bait. Cole Anthony's out of here. First free throw from Trae is good. Cole had 13 points for us, but he wasn't really doing much since we've seen him. Young misses a free throw. Now we've got Kevin Porter Jr. running the one. It'll go to Thanasis. Oh, the lob!
Oh putain. Si ça passait ça, ça aurait été incroyable.
Intention was really cool, but are we really going for these highlight plays in the clutch? I mean, TA lobbed that thing up. He lobbed it up from Yucatan, threw it just, look at how high, nearly above the backboard. Jalen Johnson was all over it. I don't know about that one. Reese Shea with the ball. He fakes the shot, swings it to Trae Young. Trae working on Porter Jr. Gets to the rim. Slithery finish.
Il l'a craqué.
Hawks now within 33 seconds to go. Don't blow another lead. We were up by 5 here in OT. Porter Jr. with the rock. Throws it to T.
Yanis. Thanasis, Thanasis, Thanasis.
Muhammad Guy inbounding. It'll go into Trae Young. Young looking to keep the Hawks season alive. Backs in, fakes the shot. That's got to be a 3-second violation. Guy bounces out to Johnson over to Reese Shea for a 3.
Raté, raté, c'est bon, c'est win, c'est win, c'est win.
Our conference finals bound behind some Thanasis Antetokounmpo heroics. Are you kidding me? Thanasis really saved the day. Trae Young at 44, 30 from Thanasis. Hasn't been doing great this playoff run, but stepped it up when we need him. 26 and 13 from Giannis. 23 and 14 from Miles Turner. Alex had 14 as well. Who's next?
C'est beau,
it's
c'est beau.
either going to be New York or Cleveland. It'll be the Cavs. Cavs have a very well-rounded roster, but we've got the Antetokounmpo family. Game 1, we'll go to them. They win the second. Well, the Antetokounmpo family is not doing well here. We get a game, and we lose in 5. The Nazis had 24 and 10 in this one. Giannis was 17 and 12, and Alex with 10. Hey, we will be back, and we will be stronger next year. That is for sure, because we got more upgrade wheel spins on the way. Player progression, please be kind to me. Giannis goes up 2. He's a 99. Thanasis now a 91. Alex up to an 81. How about a plus 22?
Plus 22, c'est insane.
We went up, what, like 15 with our upgrades, and I gave all the Antetokounmpo's 99 potential on top of that, so he went up 7 more with that potential, and Giannis even went up because I boosted his potential too. Alex, though, I want to get him some more help via the upgrade wheel. Thanasis, you might be able to hit 99 if the wheel goes your way. This time we're going to start off with Alex's spins. Also, Uncle Brooke is back. Got Reed Shepard too? Okay, we made some moves. Like I said, we're gonna spin for Alex first here. Let's get some big time upgrades. First one, yes! +9 overall for Alex. The Antetokounmpos are going to be a real deal big three
Il
now.
a été 90
We
là.
still got another spin on the way. What will it be this time? Oh, some more badges. The badges didn't help his overall too much, but I can't really complain because he just got a +9 to his overall. All right, Alex. We got 7 gold badges, and then we also got the +9 overall. We'll start off with the gold badges.
Okay,
2 inside scoring. We'll give you float game, posterizer, physical finisher. We'll upgrade to gold. That's only 3, and then we'll do layup mixmaster. I also want his shooting to be better, so we'll do limitless range. That's 4 badges, right? No, it's 5. Let me not use my badges too crazy. Let's actually not do limitless range and instead do set shot specialist. And then we'll use the last 2 on defense and rebounding. Defense, I want. Oh yeah, he's already got all gold defensive edges. Let's do brick wall then and rebound chaser.
Okay.
All right, good stuff for Alex. He's up to an 84 now. But if you hit the
C'est un
plus
bon défenseur.
9, he'll be a 93 overall, making him better than Thanasis. I have a feeling that isn't going to last though, because TA, he's about to get 2 spin. All right, TA, what you got, man? You might be able to hit 99 overall. I think you will, to be totally honest. Oh, well, there you go. +10 overall. Thanasis is going to be a 99.
C'est un 99. Il est aussi fort que Yanis maintenant.
One more spin for TA. How about a +5 overall as well? So he hits a +10 and a +5. All right, Thanasis, you can really only use, what, 7 of those overalls for your own upgrade? That leaves you with 8 more. So why not spend 7 on yourself, right? Get to 99. Then spend the remainder getting Alex to 99. Now the whole family is a 99. How are you going to stop this trio? It's over. It's over. I should have known with 399 overalls we were going to run the league, but I didn't know we would run the league this crazily. Only 6 losses on the season thus far. Make it 7,
54-7.
but we can set the wins record with a strong close to the year. Okay, that's the only loss we can afford. We got to win all the rest. Win out. Dang it. We can tie the wins record that the Warriors set 11 years ago. Now, they didn't win a ring in their year, so if we wrap it up with a ring, that'd be beautiful. 73-9, it's going to be 73-9 for your Milwaukee Bucks.
Yanis, Alex,
the newest signing for the Bucks is your MVP. He averaged 28 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 assists. What a leap. From 8 points to 28. He had to be your most improved, too. Yeah, Doc Rivers. You know your team's hooping when Doc Rivers coaches them to 73 wins. Alex was the best Antetokounmpo for sure. Giannis only on second team, 21, 8, and 7. Thanasis doesn't make All-NBA at all. What? Bro, you're a 99? Averaged 29, 9, and 4. Are you sure he didn't make All-NBA? That's got to be a typo. He was just an All-Star? Oh, they're bugging. It's not even your fault, Thanasis. I don't know why you didn't make it. Out west, the Mavs won 69 games. This might actually be competitive. Round 1 against the Bulls. We
4-0.
I'm not talking about these other series. I don't think. Okay! New York's up 3-0. I was going to say, these other series will be easy. No, they won't. Can we at least get a game? We get 1. Come on.
Okay.
Maybe 2? Because we shouldn't have been down in the first place. We should have been up.
Comment ça, ils perdent 3-0?
Give less minutes to Kyle
Okay.
Kuzma. No truer words have been spoken. 32 and 16 from Alex Antetokounmpo. Giannis with 26, TA with 23. Okay, we're turning up. We win game 6. We got a real chance to pull off this comeback. We're doing an 8-man rotation here. All the Antetokounmpos need to be out there for big minutes. Uh-oh, New York. What happened? I thought it was sweet. I thought it was sweet when y'all were up 3-0. Y'all
Putain, il y avait 3-0. C'était pas possible.
Yeah, they must have thought we weren't going to win. 29 from Alex. 26 and 18 from TA. Only 15 and 14 from Giannis. Ryan Rollins has 16. We appreciate you, Ryan. Game 7 on the way. Potential 3-0 comeback here. New York, though, they aren't going to go down without a fight. There you go. There's a good run in the 3rd. Oh, New York's right there with us going into the 4th. Oh, yeah. Absolute cinema. This is everything we love about basketball. A game 7. After being down 3-0, we've stormed back, and we found ourselves in a situation where we got a 4-point lead. We're here in Milwaukee with the throwback court. Because like I told y'all, the other court was kind of bugging out. New York Knicks have the ball. They're inbound, and it'll go into A.J. Johnson. We've got TA in the game. I see Giannis. I do not see my guy Alex Antetokounmpo, the league MVP. Jalen Brunson with the ball, working on Rollins. Oh, beautiful move. And Brunson finished.
Il l'a
Let's
cook.
get our guy in the game. Timeout, timeout. Alex! There he is. Let's hope all the Antetokounmpos are 99 overalls. They've stormed back from down 3-0. It's showtime. Ryan Rollins with the ball. Ryan, swing the rock. We don't want to see you hoop. He hits Giannis for a three. Giannis, what's up with all the threes? Alex back taps the board. It goes right to Brunson, and Brunson will slow it up a little bit here. Hit a spin move. There's the screen from Coral Towns. 15 on the shot clock for New York. Brunson steps into a three. Can't hit.
Rebond
Giannis,
Giannis.
big time rebound. He'll push the ball the other way. OG Anunoby defending. Giannis.
Let's go.
Who slammed
Thanasis.
a big time finish. And what's funny about this is we've seen the Giannis mix rumors. Oh, Miles Turner. Some safety.
Et Alex. Non.
Here's Giannis. He's got the much smaller Brunson on him. His brother Alex sets the screen.
Non. Ok, Alex il défend. Alex il défend. Non, il défend plus.
He's gonna go to work on Rollins. Tough pass to Josh Hart. Hart able to control it though. Josh hop step into the lane.
Ok, c'est bon, Giannis il l'a. Thanasis.
It'll go up to Thanasis. Thanasis has Johnson defending, who's smaller than him. Thanasis gonna try and get to the post here. He's double teamed. Somebody's got to be open. Oh, nobody's open. Ryan Rollins is open.
Oh là là, le tour. Incroyable.
To put us up by 7 minutes, 26 to go. Okay, we might just have this thing in the bag. Let me not speak too soon though. Jalen Brunson with it.
Okay.
Brunson working his way to the rim.
Ça passe. Non, ça défend bien. Parfait. Thanasis. Go. Go Rollins. Ah, il arrête le jeu. Faut continuer là. Faut y aller.
TA playing with his food here, going to work on Anunoby, bump some fakes, swing that. Oh, that's a tough shot, but he draws the foul. Hey, we'll take it. We might start calling you Thanasis Gilgeous-Alexander because that kind of looked like a foul bait. Oh my gosh, he's got 40. Make it 41 after the free throw. Thanasis, second one in there, and just like that, we're up by 9. I think we got this. I'm gonna stay in one more possession though, just to see if New York.
Normalement il gagne.
They're gonna call a timeout. New York this year.
Il revient de 3-0.
C'est
bon. C'est Alex. Oui. Giannis défend bien, mais ça passe. Ok, Thanasis. Ok, Giannis, elle trop droit. Oh, Thanasis pour Alex.
What a play from Thanasis Antetokounmpo. That'll be the ball game right there. 46 from TA, 17 from Alex. Giannis only had 11 and 10. Giannis can really just take a back seat. His brothers cooking out here. Conference finals, we got the Detroit Pistons. Cade Cunningham, Asar Ivy, Ron Holland, and Jalen Duren. It's a 1-1 series after 2. We take a 2-1 lead, a 3-1 lead, and we're out of there in 5. Thanasis, your East MVP.
28-10.
10 and 7 in the East Finals, and we'll be taking on the Mavs. Cooper Flagg was the West MVP. I just saw something.
89 Cooper Flagg.
Running Cooper Flagg at the point guard spot tonight in preseason. That's crazy. All right, here we go. Game 1 of the finals. We set the tone with the dub. Thanasis is just going off.
Thanasis, il a 40, les gars. Il a 40 points.
We're up 2-0. Oh, Dallas, are y'all even going to show up here? Okay, they might show up. They're going to get the third game. 38 and 17 from Alex isn't enough. Is deloading at 28? Game 4 is a key point in the series. Either we go up 3-1 and nearly seal the deal for a chip, because teams don't blow 3-1 leads, right? It's not like we just saw the Knicks blow a 3-0.
No.
The Mavs take this fourth game and
tu peux pas perdre.
It's 2 apiece going into game 5. Looks like we'll find out the outcome here in this final 2:36. It's 101 apiece. Let's get in the ball game here. EA Sports. It's in the game. I don't know why I said that. It's just when I said, let's get in the ball game, it made me think of the EA Sports is in the game. Anyway, Miles Turner misses the last.
Non, il rate Miles.
In the game, we got Giannis. No Thanasis right now. Thanasis, don't tell me you're fouled out. He fouled out. He was going off, too. 24 points in 26 minutes before fouling out the game. Here's Cooper Flagg with the ball. It's just going to be Giannis and Alex. Nice roll from Lively. D-Live dunks it home to put the Mavs up by 2. I mean, we still got 299 overall Antetokounmpo brothers. It's not like we're in a bad spot by any means. Ryan Rollins swings it to Giannis. Over to Alex on the wing. Alex gets the screen from Giannis. Alex, quick crossover. Good defense from Kyrie. It'll go to Giannis. There's the screen from Antetokounmpo. Oh, Alex.
Ok, Alex.
Puts it up in the
Ouh, le flotteur, il est beau. Le flotteur, il est beau.
26 points. 16 of those coming in the paint. That was a tough one, but he had the smaller Kyrie on him, was able to knock it down. Now we need some defense on the other end. Irving with the ball. Lively sets a screen. Irving rises up, can't hit. Giannis the rebound. Minute and a half to go, we're tied. Andre Jackson Jr. with the ball. Jackson slowing up the offense a little bit here. Alex sets a screen, rolls to the rim. He's got the mismatch in the post. Antetokounmpo fakes and finishes. It's an Alex takeover here. We could call him double A like the batteries. Alex Antetokounmpo. You know what I mean? That's kind of tough. Double A batteries? Is that the new nickname? Probably not. Irving with it. Good defense from double A.
Okay, good.
Irving steps it back. Jumper is off. Giannis the rebound.
Ok, Yanis, allez, Yanis, montre-nous, montre-nous.
Swings it to Ryan Rollins. Rollins to Giannis.
Cross-le, cross-le.
Giannis to Miles Turner.
Cross-le.
Oh,
Ok, Alex, Alex, sur le
Alex
petit.
to the post. Hook shot.
Non, le hook, le hook.
That would've made
T'aurais
it
pu
a
pousser, t'aurais pu
two-possession
pousser.
game. Instead, Mavs can tie with the 2, take the lead with the 3. Anthony Davis to Kyrie Irving. Irving has Giannis in front of him. The spin move. Irving using the
Non,
speed and
non, non,
finishing.
non,
We are
non,
all
non,
tied
non,
up.
non,
38
non,
seconds
non,
to
non.
go. Miles Turner
L'égalité, les gars,
inbounds
vous avez pas le droit de
into
perdre.
Reed Shepard. Shepard bounces it to Ryan Rollins. Alex Antetokounmpo wants it again. Alex in the post, bumping with Cooper Flag, puts up a tough shot,
my God.
misses. It's rebounded by Dallas, and they can run down this shot clock here if they want to. Kyrie Irving has it at the top. They are going to run down the clock. We have a timeout left in the back pocket. Mavs have 2 timeouts. Looks like they're not going to use one. Irving driving to the rim on Shepard. Layup is off. Antetokounmpo the rebound. 9 seconds to go.
Timeout,
We're
timeout.
tied and we got ball. I got to start saying just Giannis or Alex, because Antetokounmpo could be Thanasis, it could be Alex, it could be Giannis, you know, so I got to be a little more clear there. Miles Turner inbounds to Reed Shepard. Shepard with 5 seconds throws it to Alex. Alex backing in, hook shot.
Non, mais non, mais non.
Lively the rebound, and 1 point
C'est encore une chance,
still
c'est encore une
left on
chance.
the clock. Mavs could win it at the horn here. Oh no, they're going to use some of their Dallas Mavericks magic here and win this game. I can already see it coming. Derek Lively inbounding the ball. Lively to Hardy. Tough mid-range.
Okay,
Oh,
okay,
we
okay.
got extra basketball on the way here in game 4. Overtime. Not going to watch the whole OT. Just like how we did with the Hawks. If it's close, we'll hop back in. After probably simcast in a couple minutes. Irving with it. Less than a minute and a half to go. Mavs still up by 3. We need to get some
Allez,
offense
allez, allez,
going.
défendez,
That
défendez,
starts with
défendez,
stops.
défendez.
We need a
Non,
stop.
mais
Right
Miles
on.
Turner, t'es
No,
nul à...
Lively on the
C'est Miles
roll
Turner.
with one-handed
Mais non,
swipe.
Miles Turner.
Mavs now up by 5. Reed Shepard down to Alex Antetokounmpo. Alex backing it on
Okay.
Flag, drops the shoulder, misses. He's trying to muscle his way in, but he needs to use his teammates, especially his brother Giannis. Alex is kind of just trying to do it all right now. I know he's the league MVP, but he's got teammates. Davis to the
Oh,
basket,
ça-
throws the foul. Oh, it's an and 1. Giannis is fouled out the game. Alex, we might have to go for a 3 here. Piece, the team that wins game 5 goes on to win the series, and that's good news if you're a Bucks fan, unless the Mavs, no. From Cam, 30 for Matt here. That might mean hitting Reed Shepard or Miles Turner or Bobby Portis, just one of your
Ils ont perdu.
guys for an open look from 3. Alex driving to the basket, fakes the shot, floats one up. That had to be a foul. We lost game 5. 27 from Cam, 30 from Alex, 24 from Thanasis, 24 from Giannis as well. But 2 Antetokounmpos fouled out in this game. That's tough. Had 34, Alex had 23 and 13. Giannis having a slow night. It's time. He'll get the screen up top from Davis, dump it down to Davis. Davis's layup is good.
Il rentre.
No, man, no.
Yeah,
Giannis
ça,
with the
c'est fini.
ball. He's going to drive right at Davis, fake the shot.
Oh, my
layup is
God.
off, grabs his own board, goes up, misses again. Anthony Davis, one of the best defenders in the game. If anybody can slow down Giannis, it'll probably be number 3 over there on Dallas. Davis sets one for Cam Thomas. Cam working on Ryan Rollins here. Swings it over to Gafford. 5 on the shot clock. It goes up to Irving. Irving going to have to heave up a tough 3. He misses. Portis the board. Bobby with the ball as the clock
Encore
ticks
attrapé.
below
Ah,
a minute
non.
and a half. He'll hit Shepard for a 3. Reed can't knock
C'est
it
chaud,
down.
là.
Bro, the teammates have done 4 from TA, 23 and 13 from Alex. Jan win 32 and 12 from Thanasis. Ryan Rollins. Build the Ryan Rollins statue. 29 points. 20, 11 and 7 from Alex. 16 from Giannis. Games, but we're going to be able to jump in with a little bit of a cushion. Shout out Kyle Lowry. We're up by 1. Well, 1. Give it to Thanasis now. TA to Alex. Alex, the shot fake goes up on the smaller top for Dallas. Flag spins off of Thanasis. Thanasis
Un
stays
point,
right
un
there
point.
with him. Irving catches at the top. There's the screen from Gafford. Kyrie shakes Shepard. Shepard able to recover though. Mavs running low on shot clock. Reed Shepard really holding his ground here. Irving mid-range. Oh,
Nice.
it's rebounded by Giannis. Minute and a half have to go. Neither team has scored since we jumped in. Giannis bumps Irving. Oh yeah, just get to the basket.
Ouais.
Kyrie. Oh, he swung it out. Had a good
Il a fait une Ben Simmons.
Alex hits the Nassus at the top. It'll go to Reed Shepard off a screen. Reed, come on! Cooper Flag has it now. Neither team has scored. Teams are nervous down the stretch of this game. 7 Flag. I thought that was going to be a foul, but Alex with a solid contest and a miss from Flag. Giannis with it. Oh, burst of speed to the basket.
My God.
Yes,
Le speed boost là. Le speed boost, il était violent.
Kyrie Irving driving to the rim on Reed Shepard. Shepard again standing his ground well.
Okay, nice.
He's able to get another stop on Irving. Shout out to Reed Shepard there. Giannis has it. Irving on him again. Gets to the rim. Passes out of a layup. One more to Shepard. 3 is off.
Oh, Thanasis! Thanasis! Thanasis!
We got a 5-point lead. 35 seconds to go. Time is slipping away from Dallas. They need a bucket. Irving to the rim. Oh, a beautiful finish from Kyrie. He'll get it back down to a 1-possession game. 31 seconds to go. So the Mavs will not have to foul. And I think it's in our best interest to chew as much clock as possible. Oh, yeah, Jason Kidd used to coach this Bucks team. It's funny how that worked out. Reed Shepard down to Giannis. Giannis catches post, rushes up a shot.
What? Ça rentre ça? Giannis le monstre.
We'll take it though. Antetokounmpo, a beautiful finish, and that might have just sealed the deal. 5-point lead here for your Bucks. Mavs inbound, and they probably need a 3. Irving catches at the foul line. Shepard forces the pickup. Irving heaves it up and scores. Wow, tough shot, Kyrie. But the Mavs, with no timeouts left, they're going to send us to the line. It'll be Giannis shooting them. We don't love that. Giannis, first one is good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Giannis, you're out of time, man. Nah, I'm playing. Y'all remember when he used to count down on his free throws? Giannis will knock them both down, and I think that just sealed the deal. Your Milwaukee Bucks are NBA champions. Yeah, the Mavs just desperate here. Cam's gonna heave up a 3.
Ok, c'est fini, c'est fini, c'est fini, les gars. C'est qui le final MVP? Il va le montrer? C'est un 6.
With the trophy, there's Alex over there. Giannis didn't pull up to the cutscene. He was like, okay, I've already done this before. I don't need to do it again. But in all seriousness, it's just 2K bugging, I guess. Thanasis gets the Finals MVP. There's Alex and Giannis right there with them for the Finals MVP trophy presentation. Bobby Portis looking all cool with his goggles. Thanasis with 38 and 10, 34 and 10 for Giannis, 33 and 10 from Alex, meaning they combined for 105 points. Close out the finals. Wow. And TA, your Finals MVP, averaging 33 points, about 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and a block to lead us to the Larry OB. What a run it was from the Antetokounmpo brothers. If you
monstrueux. Ils sont monstrueux. J'aime bien les vidéos comme ça, c'est sympa. C'est chill et c'est marrant quoi, c'est marrant. Bon, par contre sur ce kids, je vais devoir vous laisser là-dessus. Je vous dis, passez une bonne journée, une bonne soirée. Je vous dis à toutes. Bisous, ciao.